It's 18 degrees at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin for the Oakland Raiders and the Green Bay Packers. Experience the NFL on CBS, brought to you in high definition by Sony.
The Subway Sunday Tailgate Special.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Hey, Brett Favre Boogie, Brett Favre Boogie, Brett Favre Boogie. Brett Favre Boogie, Boogie Woogie Woogie, Boogie Woogie Woogie. He's the man we adore, Mr. Pack number 4, do the Brett Favre Boogie. Hey, Boogie Woogie 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 Woogie.
The winningest quarterback in the history of the NFL also has a pretty good December home record, as you can see right there, as they play against Lane Kiffin's Oakland Raiders. Kiffin is believed to be the youngest coach ever to take an NFL team into Lambeau Field, and he'll take on second-year head coach Mike McCarthy, who is tied with Joe Gibbs for the best career start of any NFL head coach over the last 25 years. Sixth-round draft choice out of Colorado, Mason Crosby will kick off to Chris Carr, the all-time Raiders leading kickoff return man. Rich, you've played in some cold games. It's beneath 20 degrees right now. As a player, does it affect you at all?
It does. And, you know, as a quarterback particularly, I never liked playing it. You know, the balls are slick sometimes, and certainly the wind can be a huge factor.
Denver lost to the Raiders last week. Green Bay lost in Dallas. Here we go, the Packers and the Raiders. This is Carr. And he was tripped up on the play by Corey Hall, who is a rookie out of Boise State. It is a 20-yard return. Now for the Raider offense, Josh McCown makes his 7th start of the season today. Protected by an offensive line that didn't allow his Sarkis has gone for 285 the last couple games. Lining up with a couple of tight ends from the 28, first down and 10. It's Justin Griffith hit by Hawk, the middle linebacker. Barnett also out there to grab him on a gain of 3 to the 31-yard line. From the 31, Justin Fargas out of USC. A good block in there by Carlisle. Run out of bounds by Atari Bigby on a gain of 3 out to the 36-yard line.
And you can see what he's done in the last 6 weeks. He's rushed for 591 yards, Justin Fargas. And, you know, the interesting thing, I was talking to their punter, Shane Leckler, and he said he runs like a crash test dummy. I mean, he has no regard for his body. He's been dishing out a lot of punishment, and that's what they need. They need that physical presence in the run game to really take some of the pressure off of Josh McCown.
5 defensive backs for Green Bay. 3rd down and 4. Dwight is the extra wide receiver. McCown will take it himself. He's got to get to the 38 and runs for a first down on a called play on a quarterback draw. 3rd and 4 results with a 6-yard pickup. He's out to the 40-yard line. They move the chains.
And if you're the Packers and you're playing a football team with a 4-8 record, you have to prepare for the unexpected. You know, the quarterback draw, some things that you probably haven't seen on tape, because you know a team that's 4-8 doesn't have a lot to lose.
They keep the nickel secondary. First down and 10. Dwight, the 3rd receiver. Justin Fargas. And from behind, coming through, they had Barnett and Hawk riding them down. Gain of 2 to the 42.
You know, I thought it was interesting what Lane Kiffin told us last night. He felt that the weather was going to favor the Raiders. He said that the Packers are a more spread out team, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. He said, we pack them in. We want to run the ball. That's who we are. It should help us. At least that's what he's selling to his football team.
You saw Charles Woodson. He is one of the starters at the cornerback today after not playing last week with a bad big toe. 2nd down and 8.
See him changing the play. They don't do a lot of this at the line of scrimmage.
Tight end to top your screen against 4 defensive backs. The rush was on. It's almost intercepted and dropped. And Bigby almost had it at the 42-yard line. Incomplete pass. There was great pressure put on the quarterback, Josh McCown.
And you see, they're going to have to help these tackles early. They actually blow that protection. Paul McQuiston never gets outside and blocks Aaron Campman. I mean, this guy is a Pro Bowl player. He has 11 sacks, and you don't even account for him in the protection scheme. They got to get that straightened out.
Jared Bush comes in as the nickelback for Green Bay. There are two running backs, Lamont Jordan and Justin Griffith. White is the extra wide receiver, 3rd down and 8. First possession of the day.
Wow.
McCown, Lamont Jordan shy of a first down, driven out of bounds on the near sideline. He was hit over there with a gain of 6 on the play. And they'll be shy of a first down to the 48-yard line. They got a punt on their first possession.
And they're going to be very protection conscious early. They have to help these tackles early. Aaron Campman and Kabir Gbaja-Biamila, they've combined for 20.5 sacks. That's tied for most by any duo. That protection is going to be key today for the Raiders.
Good rundown by A.J. Hawk on that last play. Here's the best punter in the National Football League, combined net and gross, Shane Lechler of the Raiders. And they blow that dead in mid-flight. So they had Will Blackman back there for Green Bay to get
start. Offense, number 37. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
37 is the former Green Bay Packer Chris Johnson. He's on Louisville. As you take a look at 32-year-old Lane Kiffin, whose dad is Monty Kiffin, the defensive coordinator with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And there is Chris Johnson, who when he came out of Louisville was thought to be one of the fastest players to come out of the college ranks in years. Kansas City was also in between his stop in Green Bay and Oakland. Blackman will be looking up into that bright Wisconsin sun. From the 7. Runs into his own blocker, Morency, and brought down by Stuart Schweigert near the 14-yard line on a 50-yard punt and a 7-yard return. Brett Favre is coming up in Green Bay's first possession, 11:51 in the first. Oakland just punted. Green Bay's got it. First possession, 14-yard line, 1st and 10. Ryan Grant, the ex-New York Giant. Hiram Eugene brings him down in the secondary near the 28-yard line. That's a first down run of 13 yards and a good way to begin your game as you take a look at quarterback Brett Favre in his 16th season with the Packers, tying Hall of Famer Bart Starr for most. 1st and 10, first possession, 26-yard line. Ran again. There's a big block inside. The tackle was made outside by Robert Thomas, an ex-Packer, a 7-yard gain, and up to the 30-yard at the safety position for Schweigert. 2nd down and 3. It's the tight end Lee in motion. Play action by Favre. Donald Lee. Got by Huff. Brought down by Eugene. He's up to the 44, a catch and run of 11 yards. He's on pace to set a record for receptions by a Green Bay tight end, breaking the mark of the former K-State tight end Paul Kaufman.
And watch Brett get out on the edge. He still has the legs and he still has the touch on the throw. You know, we're concerned about the 2 fingers that he was saying. He still has some numbness and tingling. Doesn't seem like it's bothering him right now.
1st and 10. Five started back at the 14-yard line. Grant, great block by Tauscher. And the tackle made by Thomas again. Into Raider territory, 19-yard carry, and they mark the ball down at the 37-yard line.
Well, you know, he was literally thrown in there because of injuries, and he's really taken advantage of the opportunities. Look at the hole. Look at the way they're clearing out people and letting Ryan Grant go to work. And I think what you're going to see is you're going to see more 2-back offense today from the Packers, and I think there's a reason why. They really exposed Brett Favre to a number of unnecessary hits in some of their 4 and 5 wide receiver sets, and they don't want to do that today.
There's a flag on the play, and it was against the Oakland Raiders. A face mask was the call, and so they spot the ball down to the 32-yard line on a drive which has seen Ryan Grant run for 12, 7, and 19 yards on the drive. On the 32, 1st and 10. That's the rookie fullback call. And the pitch out to Grant. A block by Clifton. There's a block by Corn Robinson. Again, Thomas brings him down, trips him up. Gain of 6 to the 26. We go back to New York and JB.
All right, Kevin and Rich, take a look. Donovan McNabb out 2 weeks with injuries. Back, little play action, fake reverse, rolling right, hooks up with Brian Westbrook. He does the rest. 18 yards to pay dirt. Philadelphia strikes first on top of the Giants, 7-0. Back to Kevin and Rich.
You know, Westbrook has had some great games against the Giants, James. Last 7 against the Giants, 122 all-purpose yards each time. He's been terrific. Thank you. 2nd down and 3. Grant, and he is devoured by Warren Sapp on a loss of a yard back to the 27-yard line. There's Sapp, who is coming off a 10-sack season, drawing some boos, the former NFL Defensive Player of the Year when he played for the Buccaneers.
I thought it was interesting when you talked with Rob Ryan, the defensive coordinator for the Raiders yesterday. He said, we really match up well. We're confident. And he said, we really hope they throw it. Now you can see they're coming out in the run. The boy says, we hope they throw it because we can rush the passer and we're strong on the back end. And you see the Packers doing just the opposite of what they anticipated, packing them in and running the football.
5 in the secondary, 4 wide receivers. Morency in the backfield, and it's 3rd down and long 4. And that's incomplete, looking for Driver. Carr was there, and the coverage also applied by Stanford Routt. He was a track star in Conference USA. So now it is 4th down. And they've got 4 to go. Is it too early to go for 4th? You like the way they're moving the ball? Would you go for it here?
I like his aggressive style, Mike McCarthy. They haven't gone for a ton of them, just 6 this season, but they've converted half of them. And in this situation, with the wind, the field goal range, I like the call.
Nickel secondary remains. 4 receivers, 4th down and 4 for Brett Favre. Clifton the block. Favre incomplete. Looking for Driver, who said he was held by the linebacker Howard. No flag on the field. And on downs, Green Bay turns it over to the Oakland Raiders with a good early game stand. Timeout in 8:20. Raiders will get it for a 2nd time.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. With Southwest Airlines' convenient nonstop flights, it's like having your own company plane. Citi, whatever your story is, your Citi card can help you write it. Citi, let's get it done. And by LG, life's good.
Green Bay won 8 plays and lost it on downs. And the Oakland Raiders, with their 2nd possession, they had it the first time, 6 plays and a punt from the 26, 1st and 10. Justin Fargas. And Hawk among many down there, stopping him along with Barnett. The gain is 7 yards, and it's up to the 33-yard line. The 7th start this season for Josh McCown. But he's been kind of in that quarterback shuffle with Dante Culpepper. I got to imagine, Rich, this is kind of disconcerting for the entire team, let alone the quarterback, too.
It really is. And we always talk about you need consistency in production from the quarterback position. And it's very difficult when you're going back and forth each week. And really, neither quarterback has really grabbed the bull by the horns and really taken a firm grasp of this position.
It's 2nd down and 2. That's Fargas. But Colin Jenkins, undrafted out of Central Michigan. His brother is Chris Jenkins, the 3-time Pro Bowler with the Carolina Panthers, on a gain of 1 up to the 35.
And you just look at this graphic. I mean, it's overwhelming. You go back to week 4 of 1992. The Packers just 1 starting quarterback, Brett Favre. The Oakland Raiders, 16. I mean, that is amazing. It tells you a little bit about Brett Favre and his consistency and his production over the years.
What do you think of McCown? You've watched a lot of tape on him.
I think he has some ability. He has the ability to move around. He's a pretty good decision maker. He needs to eliminate the bad throws from his repertoire.
Extra wide receivers to White. 5 in the secondary. 3rd and 1. The pitch out to Fargas. And he is brought down by Barnett as the 1st down with ease, slashing his way up to the 44-yard line. Picks up 9 on 3rd and 1. A 1st down for the Raiders.
And this is really a key for them today, to be able to run the ball with some efficiency and some consistency. And the other thing is, turnovers have been a problem. Just watch Justin Fargas. I mean, this guy, he runs hard. He's willing to throw his head up in there and get you some of those tough yards. But they have to do a better job taking care of the football. 26 turnovers already for this offense.
Earl, the 1st-round draft choice, is coming on the defensive line for Green Bay. A 1st and 10. Play action by McCown. It's over the head of the intended receiver, 8-year veteran Jerry Porter. And again, a wobbly throw, looked to be picked off, and Woodson was in the vicinity. Incomplete pass. Woodson, the X-Raider.
And the thing about these receivers, you see Jerry Porter come across, and look at Nick Collins. I mean, these defenders for the Packers, look at this ball comes out of his hands, a little wobbly at the end. But these Packer defenders, particularly in the secondary, had a really rough go of it last week. They were embarrassed by the Cowboys. They're determined to come out here and really shut down these Raider receivers.
5 defensive backs. Jordan in the backfield. 3rd receiver Dwight. 2nd down and 10. Lamont Jordan, the ex-Jet, the all-time leading rusher at Maryland, takes it by midfield to the 49-yard line. Brought down by A.J. Hawk. Gain of 7. Back to New York in JB.
All right, Kevin and Rich, you know, a lot of talking between Kevin Harlan and Rich Gannon.
All right, JB, you're referring to New Year's Eve last year when Detroit beat Dallas 39-31. Kitna had 4 touchdown passes that day. Thank you. 49-yard line, 3rd and 3. Nickel secondary, 3 receivers. Lamont Jordan again, banging his way close to a first down, but he may be shy because it looks like the 2-time All-America out of Ohio State, A.J. Hawk, slammed into him and didn't allow him to get the first down yardage on a gain of 2. Let's see if they mark it with Ed Hockley in control of this game today.
Well, this will be interesting. Thinking about going for it here.
It's 4th and about 1 yard. 4th and 1. Would you go for it here?
Well, this is an aggressive call at this part of the field. I mean, if you don't stop them here, you give the Packers great field position. Again, if you're 4 and 8, why not? Why not be aggressive?
Fargas is back in. 4th down and 1. Fargas the pitch, chased by Hawk, chased by Collins. What a play from the safety position by Nick Collins. It's a loss of a yard. It's back to the 48 on downs. The Raiders give it to Green Bay with 4:54 to play.
So I asked my dad where he wanted to.
Green Bay, second possession for the Packers, who lost it on downs the first time from the 49. Ryan Grant. And brought down that time by Burgess, the ex-Eagle, gain of 1 to the 50-yard line. Grant on that first series carried for 12, 7, and 19 yards.
Well, the Cowboys got after Brett Favre in the last game, particularly in some of their open sets. The Raiders can't let him get comfortable back there. They must generate some pressure early, and for the Raiders, they realize that in order to win in these conditions, they have to be able to run the ball. The Packers defense must corral Justin Fargas.
Gerard Warren is coming on the defensive line. 5 defensive backs, 2nd down and 9. 5 Green Bay receivers. First time we've seen the Fab 5 today. Favre, the tight end lead, hit by Kirk Morrison, a 2-time Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year. He picks up 9. He's close to a first down near the 41-yard line.
And this is what they want to do. They want to be able to spread you out. And the thing you know with Brett Favre, the ball comes out so quick. And the receivers, it's a short passing game. And what they do is they want to make yards after the catch. They're all very, very good at that.
Ace offense now, 4 in the secondary. First down, 41-yard line. Grant hit by Morrison again. And he carves his way for 3 down to the 38. What do you think of that 5 wide receiver set that Green Bay runs?
Well, there's really risk and reward. I mean, I think it presents a lot of major problems for a defense in terms of matchups. But then on the flip side, you saw what happened last week. You know, Brett got exposed to some unnecessary hits. And so protection is paramount when you open up both sides of the formation. But the thing that you know with Brett, he does a good job recognizing fronts and pressures, and he gets rid of the ball very quickly.
4 receivers here, 6 defensive backs. Morency in the backfield, 2nd down and 7. Clifton the block, Morency. Spitz missed the block. Johnson brings him down. He grinds his way for a corkscrew move and a first down to the 30-yard line and a catch and run of 9 yards.
And they do a good job mixing things up. They're running the ball well. They get a little bit of a pass rush, and so what do? They mix in the screen. You see the line out in front. And again, when you get out in front, you have to just throw and cut. These offensive linemen, sometimes they try and break down and make the perfect block. You're better off just throwing, getting out of the way of the backs, and letting them go to work.
Back to 4 in the secondary, 1st and 10 from the 30.
False start, offense, number 30, 5-yard penalty, first down.
How about the cadence of Favre? I know you were listening to a lot of that this week and watching the quarterback of Green Bay.
Well, he is the best in the NFL with his use of cadence and snap count, particularly when he's in the shotgun. They'll do a lot of double cadence, even triple cadence, where they get up the line of scrimmage, they'll call a cadence, really to try and set the defensive front, take a look at what's happening, and let Brett make the changes to the protection so they can max him up and throw the ball downfield.
4 defensive backs, 1st and 15. Over the head of Jennings, covered by Asmawa, along with Huff, and a flag is thrown on the play. As he was slanting across the middle, and a late flag is thrown. Asmawa, one of the best in the AFC.
And Kevin, that was a called run right there. And I'll tell you, what happens is Brett recognizes the front and he decides to kick it out.
Defense, number 21. the ball is placed at the spot of the foul, and that's an automatic first down.
Packers continue their move as we move to New York and James Brown.
Kevin and Rich, Tampa Bay, Houston. Sage Rosenfels for Houston striking first, hooking up with Andre Johnson, a little 4-yarder, 6-touchdown reception for Johnson of the year. 7-0 Houston. Kevin and Rich.
Johnson led the NFL in receptions a year ago. Schaub is out, and they got Rosenfels from Iowa State in there. JB, thank you. 5 wide receivers. It's 1st and 10. 6 defensive backs. Favre going deep, covered by Carr and intercepted by Schweigert on a pass intended for Corn Robinson. Robinson makes the tackle, and Schweigert, who has more interceptions out of Purdue University than any other Boilermaker, comes up with the big play and the pickoff on Brett Favre, his 11th interception of the year. And Schweigert picks up his 2nd pick of the season. 1:47 to play in the first quarter. Again, the defense of Oakland holds.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Chrysler. The way our vehicles come together is what sets us apart. Chrysler, engineered beautifully. And by Red Lobster. Try all your big favorites during the Big Seafood Festival right now at Red Lobster.
Brett Favre has just thrown an interception picked off by Stuart Schweigert, who lost his starting job a couple weeks ago because he was injured. Starters in there for Green Bay's defense. 18-yard line, 1st and 10. Oren O'Neal is the fullback. First time he's been in today. Raiders have had it twice. Punt, they lost it on downs. And this is Justin Fargas. Clock has got to beat on him. Does Woodson, and they run him out of bounds. Brady Papinga out of BYU. A flag has been thrown at the 20 on that gain of 6. He's out to the 22. By the way, the Packers.
Holding offense, number 62. After distance to the goal, repeat first down.
That's 10-year veteran Jeremy Newberry as the Packers have gone into Raider territory twice and come up with nothing so far.
When you go back and look at the interception, the Packers in this 5 Fab 5 set, what they're going to do is they're going to try and get all of them out. But look at the matchups you're seeing from the Raiders. They're in a dime personnel. That's 6 defensive backs, and they're going to play man-to-man. You see a little bit of confusion with Corn Robinson going up the seam. The tip balls are never good if you're a quarterback. They always seem to wind up in the hands of the defenders.
Green Bay was going to go with 5 defensive backs, and they yank Papinga. Now Papinga runs back on the field. The linebacker, they take out the nickel back. 1st and 19. It's Fargas again. A block from Zach Miller, their 2nd-round draft choice out of Arizona, the tight end. Tackle was made by Woodson. It's a gain of 6, and he works his way to the 15-yard line.
And the Raiders are going to be stubborn with their running game. They realize that's their only chance. They cannot open things up and try and throw the ball 30 or 35 times with Josh McCown, particularly against this secondary of the Packers. I mean, the Raiders just don't have the personnel at the wide receiver position to really separate and run by anybody.
3 linebackers, 4 in the secondary, 2nd down and 13 on the 15-yard line. Fargas got blocked in. Ryan Pickett eats him up. Gain of 2 to the 16-yard line.
You know, you talk about 2 different philosophies from an offensive standpoint, and with the Raiders and Josh McCown, he's not going to change a lot of plays at the line of scrimmage. He's not going to audible and get out of a lot of heavy 8-man fronts and throw the ball in the outside lanes and take advantage of some of the one-on-one matchups like you would expect with Brett Favre, which are much more conservative offensive approach.
Tramon Williams becomes the nickelback. 3rd down and 11. Dwight, the extra receiver. Down going deep, he's got Porter on the side. He caught it, but caught it out of bounds. Coverage by Blackman. And that concludes our first quarter with no score. Oakland will punt when we come back. We start the second quarter with the Oakland Raiders punting for a 2nd time in 3 possessions out of Texas A&M, Shane Lechler. Deep back is Blackman, who began the season with a broken thumb and a broken foot. He was active last week against the Dallas Cowboys for the first time this season. Into the wind. Bad punt. And out of bounds. Green Bay will be given great beginning field position just inside Raider territory. It's a beautiful day in Green Bay. 19 degrees. The Packers and the Raiders on CBS. This is the the third possession for the Green Bay Packers today. They've turned it over twice in Oakland territory, once on downs, once on a Favre interception. And now after the shortest punt of Leckler's 07 season, from the 47 of the Oakland Raiders, Green Bay starts at first down and 10. Base defensive personnel out there for Oakland. Fake to Grant, fake end around to Driver. Grant on the screen. Read beautifully on the play by Robert Thomas, a one-time #1 pick by the Rams. It's a gain of 5, a catch and run down to the 41. We've talked so much about Brett Favre. In your mind, and you've talked with him many times, of all these great historic numbers, what means the most to him, you think?
Well, I think, he's on pace to set new career highs in a number of statistical categories, but I know the ones that mean the most to him. The consecutive starts, 250 and 157 career wins, simply amazing.
Second down and 5 from the 42. Grant again out of Notre Dame. Gerard Warren, a one-time #3 overall pick by the Browns, throws him for a loss of 2. It's back to the 44-yard line. He was a preseason trade from the Broncos to the Raiders.
And you just watch Gerald Warren. He's right in the middle of your screen, and he just gets upfield, and Scott Wells has no chance, especially on some of those reach blocks. It happens. They get up on you so quick, it's hard to get your hands and slow them down.
Here come those 4 receivers again for Brett Favre. 5 in the secondary for the Oakland Raiders. Third down and 7.
You can hear some of that double cadence right now.
And Favre. And it's caught by Donald Driver for the 93rd consecutive game. He has caught a pass. He has the first down. He is down to the 38 and brought down in the secondary. It's a gain of 11 and a first down. Sapp was there to grab him off the defensive line.
And just watch Warren Sapp. He's actually going to drop in coverage. And in these open sets, it's really important for the Raiders to know that there's going to be a lot of short and intermediate throws. You have to rally and tackle well and not let these receivers get started after the catch.
They stay in the nickel secondary. Clemens is playing a defensive end for the Raiders. First and 10. That's caught for the tight end Lee. And the former Dolphin is tackled by Morrison. It's a gain of 5, and he's down to the 27-yard line. Brett Favre was beat up pretty good last week in Dallas.
Yeah, it was funny. We sat down with him yesterday, and he talked about the hit. He said it's unfortunate. He didn't see it coming, and he said, it happened right on that funny bone. He says, it's funny. There's nothing funny about that funny bone. He said, the doctors have told him it might be up to 3 weeks before some of that numbness goes away in those 2 fingers. And
second down and 5. Nickel secondary remains. It's Grant. There's a good block by the fullback Hall. And he grinds his way down to the 26-yard line and a gain of a yard, and brought down on the play by Eugene. Back to New York and JB.
Kevin and Rich, take a look here. Jacksonville, poised nicely for the playoffs. David Garrard hooking up with Reggie Williams. Hey, Rich Gannon, what happened to the attempted tackle there? Splits the defenders. Oh, Kevin, look at this move here. Talk about the agile lift one there. Jags up. All said and done, 7-0. Kevin and Rich.
He was the #1 pick out of Washington. Garrard, the #3 rated quarterback, JB, in the NFL. Thank you. 3rd and 3. The secondary numbering 6. Green Bay has deployed 5 receivers. From the 27. It's caught by Driver. He's got the first down. Covered on the play by Stanford Rout. A gain of 7 on 3rd and 3 and a Green Bay first down. And a flag has gone down. Late, but nonetheless on the frozen tundra.
12 men on the defensive team. That penalty is declined. With 12 men on the defense, the penalty is declined. Play results in a first down.
Rob Ryan's been going with nickel and 6 in the secondary a lot today.
And you can do that when you have 12 people on the field. It makes it a little bit easier. But I'll tell you what they're going to do in that situation, the Russian 6, and that's really it's a risk reward. You have to be able to hold up. You don't have a lot of time with Brett Favre back there.
Now 4 in the secondary, first and 10. They began this drive at the Oakland 47. Grant. Oh, look at the big hole, and he goes through. There was a terrific block thrown on the play by Spitz, the left guard among many linemen. It is a gain of 9. Grant today has had carries of 12, 7, 19, and right there 9 yards.
Well, the last 6 weeks, he's averaging almost 110 yards a game on the ground. He's getting more and more comfortable in the system since coming over from the Giants. And Mike McCarthy said he loves his forward body lean on runs. Reminds him a little bit of Marcus Allen.
2nd down and 1 from the 10. It's Grant again. Tauscher with the block. And then brought down on the play by Morrison. No gain. He was hit and whacked, and the gain is to about the 10-yard line. And we're going to call it about a 6-inch gain because he moved it just a hair.
And you see all the different substitutions coming on and off the field for the Packers. And Mike McCarthy does as good a job as any coach in the league in terms of testing and probing defenses early to see how they'll handle certain personnel groupings and formations.
Alston is coming as the linebacker, 4 in the secondary, 3rd and 1. 2 tight ends. Krause has just come in. He was in motion. Grant hurdling a defender and driving his way down to the 6-yard line and a gain of 4. That is a 1st down. He was brought down by the linebacker, Thomas Howard. 1st and goal for Green Bay.
Well, Ryan Grant has been a big shot in the arm for the Packer rushing attack. And look at that. Look at him jump over a linebacker in the backfield. I mean, this is just a good alert play. You can see Robert Thomas trying to reach up and make the stop.
Raiders will go with 4 down linemen. Morency is in the backfield. 5 in the secondary. 10th play of the drive.
Look for a draw here.
1st and goal.
Oh.
Jennings was covered on the play by Fabian Washington, the former #1 pick out of Nebraska, number 27, incomplete pass. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
And the thing that's going to be frustrating for this defensive line, watch how quick the ball comes out. And these receivers, they're so quick coming in and out of their cuts. You really have to be on the screws in terms of your coverage responsibilities.
The Raiders now go to 3 defensive backs. It's 2nd down and goal at the 6. 4 linebackers for the Raiders. 2 tight ends for Green Bay. Grant. And touchdown. Ryan Grant gets his 3rd touchdown run in the last 2 games. Had a 62-yarder and a 1-yarder against Dallas. And he slices in for 6 right there on a drive led by Brett Favre, which began at the Raider 47-yard line. It was a 6-yard touchdown run. Grant has been terrific in this game so far. 13 carries and 66 yards. A guy who's picked up 3 100-yard games on this season so far. Crosby with the extra point. 7-0 Green Bay. 8:51 to play before halftime. They took advantage of outstanding beginning field position. And Grant in for 6. And the Packers have the early lead. One of the Green Bay assistant coaches remembered when he was a college coach recruiting Ryan Grant out of New Jersey, where he was the high school player of the year. He eventually went to Notre Dame. When the Green Bay Packers were in need of bolstering their running attack, that thought came up. They made the trade with the Giants. Grant was on the practice squad with the Giants. He was injured as well. He's come to Green Bay and enhanced this season tremendously after his 6-yard touchdown run. The subsequent kickoff, and it goes to Carr. He's hit by Hall, a converted linebacker, and now a fullback on a return of 9. The leap began against the Raiders in 1993, and it continues here today.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by HP. Explore your creativity at hp.com/what do you have to say. American Express. Are you a card member? And by Bud Light. Endless refreshment from start to finish. Bud Light keeps it coming.
Packers just scored on a 6-yard touchdown run by Grant. It's 1st and 10 outside to Ronald Curry out of North Carolina, working on Al Harris, and a gain of a yard across the way. He's up to about the 17-yard line. Well, Art Shell's 16 games as the Raider coach last year were very forgettable. Lane Kiffin is trying to turn the tide.
Yeah, to say the cupboard was bare when he took over would be an understatement. And you know, I think what he's trying to do is trying to change the culture and the mentality in that locker room. And they've been a more competitive football team. He told us last night, we've been in every game with a chance to win it. Montgomery and Harrell are on that Packer defensive line, 2nd down and 9. Good time for McCown. Lamont Jordan. And the ex-Jet is brought down at the 43, hit by both Poppinga and Atari Bigby. There is a flag down, a 26-yard catch and run as it stands right now. It appears to be against the Oakland Raiders. You get Jerry Porter for the pick.
Pass interference offense, number 84. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat 2nd down.
You just watch the top of the screen. Watch him come in. You can't extend your hands. And you see, I don't know about that, but you see Lamont Jordan, he's actually running the wheel route. Jerry Porter does a pretty good job there. I don't see him extend his hands and really try to knock off Brady Poppinga in the man-to-man coverage.
Now Kabir Bajia-Biamila has come in on that defensive line. Campman is back in there for Green Bay as they continue to rotate those defensive linemen. It's 2nd down and 18.
Penalties and turnovers have really hurt the Raiders the last couple of years. Really have set them behind the 8 ball.
Fargas is in the backfield, 2nd and 18. You got a linebacker covering the fullback atop your screen, and that's where McCown is going. Now he's going to go to the tight end, and he's got the 2nd-round pick, Zach Miller, at the 34. And he was hit on the play by Collins. Another flag is thrown.
Holding. Offense number 65. After misses to the goal. Repeat 2nd down.
That wipes out a 25-yard gain. A flag before wiped out a 26-yard gain by the Raiders. That one was against the tackle Barry Sims.
And we just talked about the hits on the quarterback as well as the penalties. The penalties will kill you. The quarterback stands in there. He takes the hit. He makes a good throw. And then you get flagged for holding.
Linebacker Poppinga comes out. Bush, the extra defensive back, the 5th one comes in. 2nd down and 22. Dwight becomes the 3rd Raider receiver. This is Justin Fargas. Brought down by Cullen Jenkins at about the 5 on a meager gain of a yard. As we send you back to our studios in James Brown.
Kevin and Rich, was a 60-yard kickoff. And Rich.
Remember, JB, that Dallas is undefeated on the road this year, 5-0. Thank you. 3rd down and 22. They need the 27. 5 in the secondary, 3 wide receivers. Blocked by Miller, the tight end. Fargas tries to bang his way for some yards. Out to the 16-yard line, where finally the leading tackler, Nick Barnett, brings him down. Gain of 11 yards, and the Raiders have got a punt. Barnett has led this defense in tackles for the last 5 years.
And those early downs are going to be key for the Raiders. You feel bad for Lane Kiffin. There's not a lot of plays on his call sheet for 3rd and 27. You just got to be smart and know that you got a great punter in Shane Leckler that can change the field position for you.
3rd punt in 4 possessions for the Oakland Raiders. Blackman is back inside the 40. The converted wide receiver now back to a defensive back where he began at Boston College early in his career. On the fly, here he goes. Got a block from Bishop, and he's gone with Leckler to stop him. Touchdown!
Well, he caught this one right in the air. He caught a flyer, and then he just takes off. And this is what Will Blackman did a ton of at Boston College. He might have stepped out there. He may have stepped out.
Nakajuba was in there following at the very end. That's the first time a punt has been returned against Leckler for a touchdown. Would you challenge? Too late now. The extra point by Crosby is in. So Will Blackman is the #2 all-time NCAA kickoff return man, returns a punt for his first NFL touchdown. 5:44 in the second. Second-year player Will Blackman out of Boston College has just returned a Leckler punt, 57 yards for a touchdown. I hit your cough button there, my friend, when you're coughing. But it is cold up here. I know what you're talking about. And here's the boot. And Green Bay is up by 2 touchdowns. Carr from the 14 and brought down by Pepra. Right now he's jumping up. He says he wasn't down. The referees are running with him. Players are watching. There goes Carr. There's a meeting on the field. Sometimes we can't hear the whistles up here. We'll see what happened, but he wisely kept running. As Hockey Lee is visiting with his crew.
They're asking, look, he's asking every.
Did you blow a whistle?
Official.
Did you blow a whistle? Maybe it's frozen. Sometimes the P freezes inside that whistle.
They're checking to see who had what in terms of the call.
The runner was down by contact. Runner was down by contact. First down.
Well, we had to hold our breath there for a second. 5:40 to play in the second. McCown and the offense get it again for the Oakland Raiders.
Bluetooth hands-free link, MP3 connectivity, ELS surround sound. All the luxuries of the modern world to go. The Acura TL. Acura. Advance.
Take advantage of attractive lease rates on the 2008 Acura TL for well-qualified customers.
Because handsaws aren't very handy, Black & Decker created the Handy Saw. With its cordless power and compact size, you can cut almost anything, anywhere, anytime. The Handy Saw from Black & Decker.
We need more customers. So, what? Advertise?
Ask the ad guru. Yellowbook.com. Customers know what they want, not always where to find it.
Excellent. Yellow Book.
Business is awesome. Possibilities. And by Yellow Book. Wherever you look, Yellow Book. For more information, call 1-800-YB-YELLOW.
It's 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. Rouse is now in as a safety, taking the place of Collins for Green Bay, and McCown airing it out. Al Harris has got a beat on it and picks it off on a pass intended for Jerry Porter. He had a pick last week over in Dallas against Romo, and he is brought down here by O'Neal. Oh, and he almost fumbled the ball. He's up to the 38-yard line. Al Harris with the interception, his second of the season. What about that play call on 1st and 10 and down by 2 touchdowns?
Aggressive, but the thing you know with Al Harris and Charles Woodson, these are 2 of the premier corners in the NFL. And watch when this ball is in the air. Watch him separate from Jerry Porter and make this catch. And now watch after he makes the catch. He has the stiff arm. He gets the block from Atari Bigby. And now Charles Woodson actually gets in the way and helps make the tackle.
Ace defense for the Raiders. Green Bay 1st and 10 from the 38. Grant in the backfield. Driver on the move. Ryan Grant. And he was brought down on the play by Burgess, who led the NFL in sacks a couple years ago. It's a gain of 2. He's to the 40-yard line.
We go back and look at the kick return, and you thought I was hallucinating. Watch his foot right there. That is clearly out of bounds.
Aren't there people in the booth to feed that information down to the sideline of the Raiders?
Yeah, and then you can see here, Carr is clearly on the ground. He gets rolled over, and surprised the officials didn't see that the first time.
5 in the secondary, 3 Green Bay receivers, 2nd down and 7.
Brett changed the protection, changed the play at the line of scrimmage.
This is Grant, brought down by Morrison. No gain on the play. He stays at the 41-yard line. Grant has got a touchdown run already today of 6 yards. He's had a big day on the ground for Green Bay. 15 carries and 69 yards for Ryan Grant.
Now there's 3 quarterbacks that I would consider in the elite group, and it's Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady in terms of their management of the game plan at the line of scrimmage. He sees the field so well. He has so much experience. And the thing that he does such a great job is he never wastes plays.
3rd down and 7. Johnson is the 5th defensive back. Favre, Donald Driver, hit by Chris Carr. He's got the 1st down, spinning his way to the 39, and a 20-yard pickup on 3rd down and 7. Driver gets another one. Driver has 3 3rd down receptions today for Green Bay.
And just watch Brett move in the pocket. He understands the protections. He knows where his quick answer throws are, and he does a great job being a very accurate thrower. Look, he's got no back there to help him in protection. He knows how long he can hold it.
1st down and 10. Screen pass for Grant, blocked by Costin. Tackle by Schweigert, close to a 1st down, near the 30-yard line, pickup of 9.5. This Grant is a versatile guy. Schweigert had a pick earlier in the game on a deflected pass. And a hat is off one of the officials, which means someone stepped out of bounds. But there is no flag on the field right. Oh, there they go. Words out of my mouth, and there they go. Voila.
An eligible receiver downfield offense, number 63. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat 1st down.
That's the center, Scott Wells, 2nd-year starter.
See defensive coordinator Rob Ryan there. And I thought it was interesting what he was saying yesterday. He said, you know, when Brett Favre pumps the ball, he says all the rushers stop rushing. He said, I've worked all week with our front 4 in terms of having them continue to rush. When Brett pumps that ball, he says our guys aren't going to stop. They're going to keep rushing and try and get some hits on the 38-year-old veteran.
Tyler Brayton, Warren Sapp, Gerard Warren, Burgess on the defensive line for the Raiders. 1st and 15. 4 in the secondary. And Ryan Grant. Big hole by the Green Bay offensive line. Brought down by Asamoah. 17-yard 1st down run to the 27-yard line. And he's got 86 yards here in the 1st half for Green Bay.
And they do a good job opening up some holes. And then watch Ryan Grant make safeties miss. Poor angle there by Michael Huff. They have to do a good job, a better job at the line of scrimmage with their initial contact. These backs are breaking way too many tackles.
Morency is in the backfield. Ruvel Martin has come in as the 4th receiver, 5 in the secondary. 1st and 10. Incomplete. He was hit from behind by Burgess. Raiders say they've got it. Brett says he had forward motion on the throw. It was not a fumble. And the conference with Hochul's crew.
You see the field judge there. He's waving it off, saying it's incomplete.
It's an incomplete pass. The pass is incomplete. 2nd down.
.155 to play in the 1st half. Clearly he was going forward. This is going to constitute as our 2-minute warning. You can see where Green Bay has had success inside 2 minutes in the 1st half this season. 2nd down and 10. 5 in the secondary. And 3 receivers for Favre from the 27 of the Oakland Raiders. It's Ryan Grant. Brought down by Clemens. It's a gain of 2. He's down to the 25-yard line. And that will bring up another play for Green Bay. Coming up, the Sprint Halftime Report. Join JB and company for all the latest scores, news, and highlights. It's the Sprint Halftime Report from New York, our cozy studios in New York. Coming up here on CBS. Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan, 3 receivers deployed. Morency is in the backfield. Nickel secondary for the Raiders. 3rd down and 8.
They're going to continue to pressure Brett Favre.
Here they come. Burgess has him. There's the pass, incomplete. He was looking for Greg Jennings, who has been the big home run threat this season for Green Bay and Favre. And now it is 4th down.
And they've done a good job, the Raiders have, bringing some pressure on 3rd down, doing a good job holding up on the back end, and Brett just hasn't had enough time to find the open receiver.
The Packers today have scored on a 6-yard touchdown run by Ryan Grant, a 57-yard punt return by Will Blackman. This will be a 43-yard try by Crosby. We were charting him in the pregame warm-ups. He was easily knocking it through from this distance. Into the wind from 43. Nothing easy about that. Oakland holds, 1:08 to play. A miss from 43 for Crosby, who is tied going into today with Nick Folk as the 2 leading scorers in the NFL. But they get nothing on that drive.
Well, the Raiders caught a break there, but they have to find a way to generate some plays here before halftime, get some confidence as they head into the locker room. And the problem with the first 4 drives, they haven't had any success. In fact, they're going backwards. And you look at Josh McCown, he's thrown for just 9 yards here in the first half.
Both teams have 3 timeouts. Raja Biamila has come in at one of the defensive ends. Campman on the other side. Green Bay has deployed 5 defensive backs. It is 1st and 10 from the 33. Lamont Jordan in the backfield. Dwight is the 3rd receiver.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Raiders had a 25-yard catch and run called back earlier because of penalty, and a 26-yard catch and run. The very next play called back because of penalty. Yeah. Self-destruct.
Yeah, it is. It's lack of discipline and focus on the road. You got to be really dialed in a difficult environment like this. Give your quarterback, give your players a chance, and you don't do that when you have false starts and delay of games.
No changes. That's a tight end in motion, 1st and 15. McCown caught by the 10-year veteran Dwight. Raiders are his 4th team in 4 years, brought down by Bigby. A 22-yard strike, a first down to the 50. That's the first down since midway through the first quarter for the Oakland Raiders. Still the nickel secondary. 1st and 10. And it goes to Lamont Jordan, who gets a block from Carlisle. And then weaving his way through that onslaught was Nick Collins, a gain of 5. The tackle made by Collins at Green Bay. He is down to the 45-yard line. Raiders burn their first timeout, 40 seconds to play in the first half. And 5. On this 2nd and 5, McCown to Jerry Porter. Chased by Harris. Look at him run downfield into Packer territory at the 25-yard line. A 20-yard catch and run. The clock is stopped. Raiders have 2 timeouts with which to work. Coming up, the Sprint halftime report. JB and Company scores, highlights, news from New York coming your way. And a player is down for Green Bay. Nick Barnett is down on a knee at the 36. Barnett, a first-round pick out of Oregon State 5 years ago. First team Pac-10.
He doesn't look right.
Jerry Porter with a terrific catch and run. A guy who led the team in receptions in 05. Had only 1 reception last year for the Raiders. And comes back this season with his 38th catch. Had a touchdown reception last week against the Denver Broncos. A 20-yard catch and run. And he's given the Raiders a 1st and 10 late in the first half. At the 25, we have an injury timeout here at Lambeau Field. With an injury inside 2 minutes, Green Bay will lose a timeout. They're looking at Nick Barnett now. They will not replace him with the linebacker. They'll keep Hawk in there as the only linebacker. They still have the 4 on the defensive line, but Green Bay will bring in Frank Walker, and they'll go to 6 defensive backs. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Raiders. Moments ago, a catch and run by Jerry Porter of 20 yards to the Green Bay 25.
And these Raider wide receivers, they must have a different mindset coming into this game. They're going to see a ton more man-to-man than they're used to seeing, and these corners will challenge you at the line of scrimmage. Charles Woodson and Al Harris, they're going to get their hands on you, so they have to be prepared for a physical confrontation off the line.
How important is this 33 seconds for the Raiders?
It is. It's important for their confidence to go in halftime, whether even the touchdown or even a 3 points would certainly help them in the second half.
It's 1st and 10. McCown looking for Porter, covered by Harris, and it's a touchdown. What a catch by Porter. And Harris is beaten in the end zone on a 25-yard strike by Josh McCown.
And that's just a great play by Jerry Porter. I mean, he's got great coverage there. Al Harris couldn't do anything different Jerry Porter just makes an unbelievable play reaching over. You see McCown, he's just going to throw this one up. Look at Al Harris, he's right there to make the play, and Jerry Porter just rips it out. Actually, Atari Bigby probably helped the situation, knocking Al Harris off the play, but I'll tell you, very fortunate in that situation.
And they're going to look, was it challenged?
They are reviewing the ruling on the field of touchdown.
And that was not challenged on the field. That is being called by the NFL replay booth inside 2 minutes here in Green Bay. Porter caught a touchdown last week against the Broncos. He's hoping this one stands to make it a close game for Lane Kiffin and the Raiders. Last week against Terrell Owens, Al Harris was guarding him, ripped the ball away on the sideline. Would look to be a Green Bay takeaway. It was not. Dallas controlled the ball. Harris faced with the same situation another week. Another great receiver in Porter.
Yeah, you can see it was interesting. We talked with Charles Woodson this week.
Which would have been a penalty. He did not step out of bounds. Therefore, the ruling on the field stands. It's a touchdown.
It was interesting. We talked with Charles Woodson, and he said he really made sure that he spoke with all the secondary guys and told them about not only Ronald Curry, but particularly about Jerry Porter, his ability to go up and get the ball, his strong arms, and the ability to rip it out of your hands.
Kondo with the long snap, and he's had trouble the last couple weeks being on the money. Leckler to put it down, and Janikowski, with 26 seconds to play before halftime, makes it a 14-7 game as McCown has thrown his 9th touchdown of the season. He was 4 for 4 on that drive. And another tough afternoon for Harris, who, by the way, also has an interception today against McCown. Coming up Thursday on Survivor, new alliances form as the Castaways make their moves before the big season finale. Don't miss a new episode Thursday. And the finale 1 week from today, right here on CBS, America's Most Watched Network. Well, we have a completely different ball game. 14-zip looks a lot different than 14-7 heading to the halftime break.
Yeah, and you almost expected this from the Raiders. And, you know, Lane Kiffin told us last night he's got a good feeling about this football team. They've won 2 in a row, and they're beginning to believe in each other in the system. And I tell you what, they're not going to pack up their tents and roll over and take off like they have in the past when they've gotten behind in games. They are much more competitive than they've been in the past.
You saw what's at stake for Green Bay. You also saw the Detroit Lions leading the Dallas Cowboys, who beat Green Bay last week, who Green Bay is chasing in the NFC. The kickoff by Janikowski leads the league in touchbacks. Here is Corn Robinson, who earlier this year had a 67-yard return. Hit by Sam Williams, bounces outside, chased by Ricky Brown. He is somewhere inside the 30 on a 24-yard return. Let's look at that Cowboys score once again. There is a real war of words between these two teams this week, and you can see just before the half there in Detroit, it's a 20-7 lead for Kitna and the Detroit Lions, who come in 6-6 and in right back at Green Bay in this NFC North Division. Green Bay Packers have 2 timeouts remaining. Raiders have put in 5 defensive backs.
You run the ball once and you head into the locker room up 14-7.
That's exactly what they do. Here's Grant, brought down by Asamoah. Gain of 2 to the 28. Well, we got a second half that's going to be worth watching.
Yeah, it will. And you just know both these teams battling. Certainly the Packers very concerned about that NFC playoff race.
Green Bay has scored on a touchdown run by Grant and a punt return of 57 yards. The Raiders got on the board moments ago on a 25-yard touchdown pass to Jerry Porter. 14-7 Green Bay. That is our halftime score from Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin, as the Packers lead the Raiders by 7. A reminder, this game is brought to you today in high definition here on CBS. Beautiful Lambeau, 19 degrees. Packers have driven into Raider territory 4 times today. They come up with 7 points.
Yeah, that's been a little frustrating, but as the weather starts to change and become a factor here in Green Bay, you're seeing more of an emphasis from Mike McCarthy in this offense on the running game. Ryan Grant, 18 carries for 90 yards in the first half. That was key.
Let's take a look at some of our highlights from the first half. The Raiders getting on the board late. It began with Green Bay, Ryan Grant, 6-yard touchdown run. Then a 57-yard punt return by Will Blackman. He stepped out of bounds. It was not challenged by the Raiders. Then just before the end of the first half, Jerry Porter was jousting with Al Harris and comes up with a touchdown that brought the Raiders to within 7 at halftime and through 30 minutes of football here in Green Bay. Here are some of the numbers.
Yeah, and it's a pretty close game. And, you know, it wasn't looking very good for the Raiders there in the first half, but Josh McCown made a couple key throws down the stretch. The big one to Tim Dwight, and, of course, the touchdown to Jerry Porter that really got him back in this football game.
Rich, every month in the NFL season has a different feel. For instance, November feels different than September, and certainly I'm certain that December feels different than October. They have a different character all their own.
Well, you know what, particularly for a team like Green Bay, that the playoffs are so much a part of this season and the preparation. I think what happens in December is everything gets screwed down a little bit tighter in terms of your film study, in terms of the attention to detail at practice, in terms of the effort and energy that you put into it, and because it's so important. Each game means so much down the stretch.
So much was made of the left shoulder injury to Brett Favre, the right elbow. For a quarterback, how important is a right-handed throwing quarterback in that left shoulder in his throwing motion?
Well, everybody always talks about his arm strength, and what you should really look at are his entire mechanics in the throwing motion. I mean, he uses his left arm as well as anybody, his torso, you know, his legs, and this is really where he generates so much of that extra torque and his velocity on his throws. But I tell you what, he is the ultimate competitor.
You don't notice anything off about his throws today? Anything that would say that injury is affecting his throw?
No, I'll tell you what, he is one of the best quarterbacks in inclement weathers. I mean, he plays well here at home. The weather doesn't seem to be a factor, and he does a great job with his accuracy and his location on throws.
So the Raiders will kick off, and as we said in the first half, Janikowski has more touchbacks than any other kicker in the NFL. Deep back Robinson, and he'll take it and drop it at about the 10, reels it in at the 12, and then is brought down by Chris Johnson, the ex-Packer, with the tackle at the 9. And this brings us to the second half start with Brett Favre.
Yeah, and look at this. I mean,
our guy's having some fun downstairs.
He's never played in a game where the temperature's been below 44 degrees Fahrenheit. That's coming into today, but I mean, it just goes to show you, Brett. He loves this weather. He loves this crowd. He loves playing here at Lambeau, and he's had some of his best games when the weather has been bad.
The Oakland Raiders start defensively with their starters on the field. Green Bay the same offensively, 1st and 10. Look at the time. Oh, now they come squirting through, but he got the pass off to Grant, who was brought down by Robert Thomas. The pressure from Burgess up the middle. It's a gain of 1. He's up to the 19-yard line.
Well, an area of strength all season has been the pass protection. It was a cause for concern last week against Dallas, and again here today, he's taken a number of hits. Watch this one of his legs. And these are not the ones you want to see your 38-year-old quarterback take. They have to do a better job protecting and keeping the hits off of Brett Favre.
It's 2nd down and 9 yards to go. Green Bay had some confusion as they were assembling at the line of scrimmage. Take a look at Ed Hockley, who has refereed Super Bowls 32 and 38 in 5 conference championship games. A nickel secondary, and the 3 receivers out there for the Packers on 2nd down and 9. It's Ryan Grant, blocked by Clifton, blocked by Spitz, blocked by Robinson. It's Howard running him out of bounds. All that blocking produces just a yard.
Offense number 72. 10-yard penalty, half the distance to the goal. Repeat, 2nd down.
That is Jason Spitz, who was a 4-year starter at Louisville, a 3rd-round pick, who started last year and starts today at the left guard. Last week he started at right guard.
And it's interesting how they move him around. You know, Junius Costin playing the right guard. Darren College was replaced. We talked about the protection. Mike McCarthy was not particularly happy with the number of hits that Brett took, and so they made some changes up front. But now Jason Spitz, as you said, Kevin, has to go from the right side to the left side, and that changes some things from him, particularly mentally.
Now the Raiders go with 6 defensive backs. They have also brought in Clemens and Warren on their defensive line. You see the 4 receivers, 2nd down, 18. They need the 28. incomplete. It's an incomplete pass. The Raiders were not too impressed with the 2 tackles of Green Bay.
No, they weren't. They felt like they could get some pressure home. But the other thing is they weren't overwhelmed with the receivers for the Packers either. I think they certainly respect them, but they have enough confidence in their ability to play a lot of man-to-man coverage. I mean, they've drafted a lot of #1 picks in that back end of that secondary for the Raiders, and they are comfortable enough to be able to match up and play man-to-man.
Receivers are Robinson, Triver. Bottom of your screen, Jones and Jennings, 3rd and 18, 6 defensive backs. Farr laces a pass. It's caught by Jennings out of Western Michigan, a 2nd-round pick and a 2nd-year player. Works on Washington. The gain is a 1st down catch and run of 20 yards. He's out to the 30-yard line.
And this kills you. And the strength of their secondary is the corners, not the safeties. You're going to see Michael Huff. He's here in coverage, and he just gives Jennings a little too much room, and you just can't do that on a 3rd and 18. You see the corners locked down, but look at Jennings inside. Look how far off Michael Huff is, and he gets caught up in the wash, and he can't make this tackle.
Still 6 in the secondary. 1st and 10. Farr, wide open is Corn Robinson, a former #1 pick with Seattle, and there he goes. He gets by Johnson. He's tackled by Asamoah. Down to the Raider 33-yard line. A 37-yard catch and run.
And that's why we talked about tackling in the secondary is going to be so important today for the Raiders. These Packer receivers are the best in football. They've amassed 1,731 yards after the catch. I mean, they're so strong up top, they make people miss, and this is really where they hurt you.
4 defensive backs, 1st and 10. Ryan Grant, good block by Hall, blocked by Wells, smothered by Huff among many on that Raider defense. It is a gain of 4 to the 29.
You know, he hasn't gotten a ton of carries coming into today's game, but boy, I'll tell you what, he's made the most of every opportunity. He's gotten more and more comfortable in this system, and now as the weather starts to turn here in December, you're going to see more from Ryan Grant. They got to find a way to get in the 2-back system and get him more carries as the weather becomes more of an issue.
It's 2nd down and 6 from the 29 on a quick count. Grant brought down by Morrison, the linebacker, to the 23-yard line. He submarines for 5 yards. How about any changes you see the way Green Bay may be attacking this Oakland defense? Halftime is always a good time to readjust.
Well, you know, we talked in the first half about the fact that they've gotten away from some of their 4 and 5 wide receiver sets, and you're seeing more 2-back from Mike McCarthy in this offense.
Kuhn is the fullback. There are 2 tight ends. It's 3rd down and 1. Oh, Grant is smothered. Coming through is the 7-time Pro Bowler Warren Sapp, a loss of 2. Back to the 26-yard line, and here come the boos. They remember Sapp well from his days with the Buccaneers.
And you see he's just going to pick on Junius Costin there. He gets up underneath the shoulder pads, and that's something that the offensive linemen have to do. You have to play low, especially against a guy like Warren Sapp, who does such a great job with his arms and leverage.
Well, here is Mason Crosby, who holds some 31 records at Colorado. He was a first-team Big 12 3-consecutive-year performer, a 44-yard field goal, and he's got it from 44 yards away. So the Packers take their opening drive of the second half and score with 10:46 to play in the 3rd.
Telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
That field goal drive by Green Bay. We saw a 20-yard catch and run by Jennings and a 37-yard catch and run by Robinson. The 2 wide receivers, 8 plays, 56 yards, a little over 4 minutes on a 44-yard field goal. The ensuing kickoff. And is caught by Justin Griffith, who signed as a free agent from Atlanta, and he is brought down by Corey Hall. It's an 11-yard return. The Raiders get it for the first time in the second half. When we come back, 10:41 in the 3rd.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. With Southwest Airlines' convenient nonstop flights, it's like having your own company plane. Burger King, who reminds you to have it your way. And by Kay Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K.
Green Bay Packers just scored on their first second-half possession, a 44-yard field goal. Raiders return it to the 24 on the kickoff. Their first second-half possession, 1st and 10. Justin Fargas, a lead block by O'Neal. Pushed out of bounds by the Lombardi Award winner out of Ohio State, A.J. Hawk. The gain to the 29. It's a pickup of 4. Voting for the 2008 Pro Bowl ends Tuesday, December 11th at noon Eastern. Vote at NFL.com/Pro Bowl or text PRO to 7777 via your Sprint service. Standard tech rates apply. Text rates. It's hard to say when it's 19 degrees. Your lips stick together. Anyway, 2nd down and 5. Fargas. Dropped by the tight end again, Miller. And the gain is out to the 30-yard line, a pickup of 2 yards on the play.
You know, I like this Josh McCown. He had his best performance of the season last week versus Denver. Threw for 3 touchdowns. Key numbers, though, 0 interceptions. He was efficient. And, you know, he had to come out of that game for a couple series while the rookie Jamarcus Russell got a chance to play. He led him on a touchdown drive. Jamarcus Russell comes in for a couple series. And then Josh McCown comes in on the very next series, takes him down for a big touchdown.
Tramon Williams has become the nickel back. KGB has come in as the defensive end, 3rd down and 3. Dwight is the 3rd receiver. McCown, here comes Campman. Incomplete. For the first time today, they throw at Curry. He was covered by his old teammate, Charles Woodson. Campman applying the pressure. 3 and out for the Raiders. Woodson, the Heisman Trophy winner out of Michigan, 8 years with the Raiders, a 4-time Pro Bowler. But he enjoyed his best single season last year here in Green Bay.
One of the problems that they're having in the passing game, Ronald Curry has yet to get a ball. He's their leading receiver coming into today's game with 47 catches. They're doing a good job. Charles Woodson shutting them down.
Will Blackman is back to retrieve this Leckler punt. He returned one 57 yards and a punt return touchdown in the first half. Jackson has it. And Ricky Brown finishes him off. A 48-yard punt. Green Bay will get it for a 2nd time with 9:24 to play in the 3rd quarter at Lambeau. Raiders just had a 3 and out. They punt to Green Bay. Packers take over at the 20. 1st down and 10 yards to go. Tauscher with the block. Brett going deep. Looking for Jennings. Oh, he's got the ball. And there he goes. He'll walk into the end zone. There's a flag on the field. It is back at the 11.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense, number 98. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Greg Jennings has just caught his 11th touchdown pass of the season. And Brett Favre has just thrown his 23rd touchdown of the year. The rookie from Ohio State, Richardson. Tattoo and Brett. An 80-yard touchdown pass by Brett Favre. And Green Bay has scored the first 2 possessions here in the 2nd half. Brett Favre, touchdown pass number 437. His 206th at Lambeau. It's 24-7. That was a flag thrown on that play as well, on the extra point.
Personal foul, face mask by the offense, number 86.
It was Donald Lee.
15-yard penalty, retry.
Well, there's nothing like a slap in the face like a Brett Favre 80-yard touchdown pass against your defense.
And you know what? Stanford route, we got a chance to look at it here in a minute, but Stanford route was right there. But again, these receivers, we talked about being the best in the league at going after the ball once it's in the air. I just think there's a fraternity amongst that receiving core that they know they can't let down Brett Favre.
Back in 03, in the game the Packers played in Oakland against the Raiders, you were injured, were on the sideline. You think that aggressive style, that attacking style by the Packer receivers began that night?
That was a turning point. In fact, Donald Driver told us he went to Brett's room before that game. You know, he had lost his father, and he said, look, I don't care what you throw up tonight. We will find a way to come down with the ball. And they've adopted that mentality ever since. Players like Greg Jennings, they come in, they learn from the older guys like Donald Driver. We better go up and bring that ball down.
This is like now a 35-yard field goal. It's a 35-yard extra point. Again, 24-7. 9:11 to play in the third from Lambeau.
On CBS. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Mitsubishi Motors and by Wachovia. Smart financial decisions. Are you with Wachovia?
Another solid at Lambeau Field in Green Bay. We're in the third quarter. Stanford Routt was just beaten on an 80-yard touchdown pass to Green Bay wide receiver Greg Jennings. Brett Favre through the air. You can see the yards after catch. Rich talked about this at the beginning of the broadcast. Green Bay #1 in the NFL in that category. And because there was a personal foul, Green Bay will have the kickoff moved up just a bit.
You know, we talk about yards after the catch and the fact that Packers are #1. There's a much more publicized group of wide receivers in this league. The New England Patriots, they're actually #2. And we hear so much about the Patriot receivers, but this Packer receiver group, after the catch, are dynamite.
Crosby will kick off, and deep back is Chris Carr. This should be returnable. On the 2-yard line. Williams chasing Carr. He's the Raiders' all-time leading kickoff return man. It's a return of 23 yards. Down 24-7. Here comes Josh McCown with 9:04 to play in the third. They're expecting about an inch, maybe an inch and a half of snow here in the Green Bay area. The worst weather is south of here, 19 degrees, very little breeze. Brett Favre has thrown a touchdown pass of 80 yards, and he has thrown an interception. Josh McCown has thrown a 25-yard touchdown pass to Porter. First and 10 from the 25. Harrell may have deflected that pass. Here comes a flag, too. It's on the rookie out of Tennessee, the #1 pick in the grill.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 91. A shot to the head. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Look at Mike McCarthy. Some people think he might be coach of the year. What do you think?
I'll tell you what, he's done an unbelievable job with the youngest football team in the league right now. You know, to have this team playing the way they are, 10-2 at this point. Of course, a disappointing loss last week, but he said he came back this week, and they spent the first day of the week this Tuesday really walking through all the corrections of that Dallas game. He felt that was more important than taking the extra time to prepare for Oakland. 21 mental errors, 9 penalties for 142 yards. He's done a much better job eliminating the mistakes today.
First and 10 from the 40-yard line. Justin Fargas grabbed by Harris. And the gain is up to the 44-yard line and a pickup of 4. Next Saturday, Rick Pitino's Louisville Cardinals head to Conseco Fieldhouse in Indianapolis to take on Purdue in the Wooden Tradition. You're on the home of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship, CBS Sports. It's 2nd down and 6. Green Bay. Barnett, who was poked in the eye late in the first half, has started every play here in the second. Woodson has played every snap at the cornerback position. And looking for Curry. The catch is made. Woodson defending, and Ronald Curry, an old teammate of Woodson's, with the catch at the 30-yard line. His first reception of the day. 1st and 10 at the Green Bay 27.
And this is just a nice job by Ronald Curry and a great throw by Josh McCown. Again, look at Charles Woodson. He's right there. He's in position. He reaches his right hand in. A perfect throw gets it done in that situation.
Curry is the leading receiver for the Raiders, as he was a year ago. 4 secondary performers for Green Bay. First down and 10. 2 tight ends for the Raiders. Here comes Barnett, and McCown wisely heaves it aside. And McCown, who's had a myriad of injuries, goes down. He has stitches in his left hand on his little finger, and that was from a practice catch, not a game injury, a practice injury.
Yeah, you just watch the pressure comes up the middle with Nick Barnett. He gets flushed, and then watch him go down. And you're right, he actually hurt that after practice one day, catching balls for the 4th quarterback, Andrew Walter. Just tells you what kind of guy he is, trying to help out a younger player. But you can see that thing, it's broken. He had it stitched up, he's got it taped up, and it's very, very painful.
It's 2nd down and 10. This is Justin Fargas following a Griffith block, and Harrell makes another tackle, and the gain is a yard down to the 26-yard line for the Oakland Raiders.
And you can see Andrew Walter there, and he's actually the 2nd quarterback today. Dante Culpepper out with a quad injury, and so
Jamarcus Russell is here, the 3rd quarterback, though, the #1 overall pick.
yeah, and Andrew Walter, a guy that started actually 8 games last year.
There's Culpepper. There's Walter. 3rd down and 9. Next to receiver is Tim Dwight. And there are 5 defensive backs for Green Bay. McCown had trouble with the snap. He's hit as he throws. It's incomplete. He was drilled by Barnett. Slow to get up again off the field here at Lambeau Field is Josh McCown.
I'll tell you what, he is a tough guy. He's not even expecting that snap. But these hits begin to take their toll on you. When you have your arm extended, you got a broken left pinky. I mean, this will begin to become a problem as the game goes on. They have to do a better job protecting him so he doesn't have to take those unnecessary hits in the pocket.
There's a 44-yard try by Sebastian Janikowski. This is into the wind. Former #1 pick out of Florida State. And this will be no good. So the Packer defense holds with 6:49 to play in the 3rd quarter. The Raiders can get nothing even after the 30-yard catch by Ronald Curry as they take a look at their quarterback, Josh McCown, who has had a myriad of injuries this season, a broken toe, a sprained right foot. We showed you the hand injury in his left hand, his left little finger, stitches up the side. Tomorrow on a new CSI Miami, prepare yourself for a year-end shocker. David Caruso stars in Monday night's #1 promise, CSI Miami. That's tomorrow at 10, 9 Central on CBS. Packers take over. 34-yard line, 1st and 10. It's Ryan Grant with the block by Tauscher. Knocked out of bounds on the play by Schweiger. 47-yard line, a run of 13 yards, and a 1st down. Grant now over 100 with 110 rushing on the day.
I've been impressed with Ryan Grant. I mean, he is a powerful runner. And again, the more opportunities he's getting, the more carries, the more comfortable he seems to be in the system.
Green Bay has scored on their first 2 possessions of this 2nd half. 44-yard field goal and an 80-yard touchdown pass from quarterback Brett Favre. It's 1st and 10. Grant again. Lee with the block. Tackle made by the former Thorpe winner out of Texas Huff. It's a gain of 2 to the 49. Let's go to JB in New York.
Hey, Kevin and Rich, we know Jacksonville right now, the 5 seed in the AFC playoff picture. David Garrard hooking up with Matt Jones, a 6-yard bullet at the back of the end zone. Jacksonville on top, 17-6. That in the 3rd. Back to Kevin Harlan and Rich Gannon.
Matt Jones, the former #1 pick out of Arkansas. He was a Razorback quarterback, converted tight end. JB, thank you. 2nd down and 8 from the 49. That's the tight end haul in motion. Grant. Hall with the block. Tauscher with the block. Tackle is made by Robert Thomas, former Pac-10 Defensive Player of the Year. It is a gain of 5. He's down to the 47-yard line of the Oakland Raiders.
Well, I thought it was interesting. We sat down with Brett Favre on Friday. He talked about the beginning of the season. He says he didn't know what they're going to hang their hat on. He said we're so young and so inexperienced, not only at the wide receiver position, but at the running back position. I mean, they started 2 rookies back there, and he said, you know, I never anticipated we'd be this wide open offensively in some of these 4 and 5 wide receiver sets.
Nickel secondary, 3rd down and 3. Morency in the backfield. Incomplete to the tight end, Donald Lee. It is 4th down. Back to JB in our CBS studios.
Kevin and Rich, you know the war of words between over Dallas in the 3rd. Kevin Harlan and Rich Gannon.
Well, Detroit, JB, is 4-2 at home, 6-6 overall. Still hoping for the playoffs. Thank you. Here's the boot, Tim Dwight. Backed up and taken down by Jason Hunter, and there's a loose ball. It's in the end zone. It looks like Blackman's got it. Now the question, was he down at the 10? And that's the conversation.
I don't think he was. I'm going to jump out in front of it.
I think they're saying he's down.
They're saying he's down, but I don't think he was. I don't think his knee was down. Of course,
the runner was ruled down by contact. 1st down.
I wonder if they'll review it. He's already got 1 touchdown today, does Blackman, on a 57-yard punt return. Here is Tim Dwight, a 10-year veteran, who was whacked in the hit here by Jason Hunter.
Oh, yeah, he maybe was down. Maybe that right knee.
And you can see Blackman then vacuums it in once he gets to the end zone.
Look at his right knee. Right up. No, 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 no. That's coming out.
That is a fumble.
2 for 2 today, brother. Huh?
You're pretty good.
Huh?
You got another job here coming up.
Green Bay is challenging the
Watch
ruling
this.
on the field, but the runner was down.
I think the ball was coming out, Rich. I think you're right.
Yeah, we got a good picture. That camera guys did a great job. You're going to see that ball is actually coming out before that right knee hits the ground.
Rich, you said something earlier about Green Bay having the youngest roster in the NFL. And I guess I'll begin at the very top of that statement. Is this team built the way a quarterback like Brett Favre plays?
Yeah, I think so. And I think you really got to credit Mike McCarthy and Ted Thompson, the general manager, and the job that they've done. You know, surrounding Brett with a group of wide receivers that are really deep. I mean, they're 5 deep there. Some young running backs. You get a look at this. Yep, the ball begins to come out. You see Jason Hunter does a nice job getting his hand in. And that ball is actually coming out before his foot hits the ground. Yep, you can see it. It's already out before that right knee hits the ground. That's really the best shot of it right there.
Ed Hockley has seen it. He makes a quick decision. We'll see what his trained eye tells us.
The ball was fumbled by the Oakland player before he was down by contact.
Wow.
And there was a clear recovery of that fumble by Green Bay in the end zone, resulting in a touchdown.
His 2nd touchdown today. Will Blackman, a 2nd-year player out of Boston College. The 2nd special teams touchdown by the Packers.
Yeah, you can see it's coming out, and that's just a great job, an open field tackle by Jason Hunter. And special teams are so key at this time of the year. You need big plays. We saw a couple of them today. We saw, of course, the return earlier from Will Blackman, and then the fumble recovery. He's having an unbelievable day in the kicking game.
And the extra point by Crosby. Green Bay 31-7 over the Oakland Raiders. As you take a look at Blackman, he began the season with a broken thumb, then broke his foot. He was active last week for the first time against the Dallas Cowboys. And Dwight, who has been in big games, including the Super Bowls. Well, the end of an era here in Green Bay. Bob Harlan, the CEO and president, worked with Al McGuire at Marquette, with the baseball Cardinals in St. Louis. Me and my dad at spring training. And then the Super Bowl season a couple years ago. He came to the Green Bay Packers in 1971, helped the renovation here with so many people, and most importantly, the fans and the citizens of Green Bay, because these citizens helped build this stadium. $300 million renovation of the oldest stadium in the NFL, Lambeau Field.
Well, you know, I know he's a great dad, Kevin, but he's been a great executive for this organization. The job that he's done, bringing in people like Ron Wolf and Mike Holmgren, Brett Favre, Reggie White, the Super Bowl, and a lot to this city.
And the ensuing kickoff is a chip shot taken by Carr out of Boise State. is brought down by Hall. Return of 15 yards on the plays out near the 36-yard line. Well, Rich, you're down 31-7. You've won 2 consecutive games. Here comes the battered and bruised Josh McCown. What's your mindset if you're... That number 12, by the way, looks pretty familiar. Yeah. That was your number with the Raiders.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, I've been in some of these situations, and it's not good, really, because this football team, the only chance that they had, Lane Kiffin told us, we have to be able to run the ball. If we get behind in games like this and we have to open it up and throw it, we just don't have the personnel to do that right now.
Montgomery is on the defensive line.
Hey, Silva!
There's a 1st and 10 handoff. It goes to Fargas, who is belted by A.J. Hawk. It is a gain of 5, and he's up to the 42-yard line. Well, tonight on 60 Minutes on CBS, a behind-the-scenes look at the hardest working player in the NFL, LaDainian Tomlinson of the San Diego Chargers. That is tonight on 60 Minutes on CBS.
Part of the problem is you get behind like this, and your best player right now, Justin Fargas, who's at the most yards rushing in the NFL since week 8, almost 600 yards, is pretty much essentially taken out of the game plan.
Lamont Jordan is in his place, 2nd down and 5. And Montgomery makes the stop. He's a 3rd-year player out of Texas A&M. It is a gain of 3, and he's up to the 44-yard line. Rich, let's back up a second on the Raiders. From the time you left in that Super Bowl season of '02, what has happened to this organization who over that span has had the worst record overall in the NFL?
Well, I think I always say this: you need structure, you need discipline, you need a system in place, and you need stability. Stability at the head coaching position. You look at Lane Kiffin there; they've had way too much turnover. They lost John Gruden, then they lose Bill Callahan. Of course, North Turner comes in, Art Shell. They've had a number of different quarterbacks, and if you don't have consistency in production at the head coaching spot and the quarterback, it's very difficult to win.
2 fullbacks in there on 3rd and 1. It's a timeout taken by the Raiders. They had both O'Neal and Justin Griffith in the backfield in the eye, and now that timeout makes Oakland with 2 the rest of the way. Well, we talked about the early meeting between these 2 franchises, the AFL Raiders, the NFL Green Bay Packers. Max McGee, the late Max McGee, with the catch there. And then the great player, Daryle Lamonica. And then Donnie Anderson going in. The game was played in Miami in a 33-14 Green Bay win over Al Davis and the Oakland Raiders. Many world championships, including 1996. With Vince Lombardi being brought here in the 59 season.
Well, this facility has just so much history to it. And, you and I were talking about the punter for the Raiders, Shane Leckler, his wife, Erin. She made the trip. She wanted to come here and see Lambeau for herself. It's just a very special place in the National Football League.
Lamont Jordan is in the backfield, 3rd down, a long 1. Jordan gets the call. What a great defensive play, turned in by Nick Barnett. Comes up with another, piercing that line.
Well, I'll tell you what, ever since Nick Barnett got that a bump in the head in the 2nd quarter, he's made some big plays, and he's made a lot of them in the opponent's backfield. You see him just tracking the runner, Lamont Jordan, and look at the reaction at the end. Tell me he's not excited.
It was a loss of a yard, so it goes back to the 44, and the Raiders have got to punt the ball. Blackman with 2 touchdowns on special teams today is back. Leckler gets off a rocket. And the guy who is number 1 in net, number 2 in gross in the NFL, a 2-time Pro Bowler and the best in the business, sends this away for 56 yards.
Is this a team of destiny?
Patriots back in front. Touchdown!
Then the question is, can destiny be stopped?
Touchdown, Pittsburgh!
Steelers, Patriots, coming up next on CBS.
Green Bay takes over on the touchback at the 20-yard line, 1st down and 10. And it's Ryan Grant. He's brought down by Gerard Warren. And the gain is about 4 yards. He's out to the 24-yard line. Let's go back to that game coming up later today. It's a big one for the Steelers in Foxborough against the New England Patriots.
And that's one I'd pay to see. And I tell you, people are starting to catch up, I think, a little bit to the mystique of what's happening there in New England. And Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, I'm telling you, are going to be a handful for them today. They are very good on defense, and Ben Roethlisberger, they got it going on offense, and that should be a real good test for them today.
It's 2nd down and 5 from the 24. Grant with a block by Hall. And a tackle made on that defensive line by Warren Sapp. It is a gain of a yard to the 25. Grant today on the ground, 25 carries, 121 yards.
And I think that's important. Now they're showing the ability to be able to get with their heavy sets, bring the 2 tight ends, the 2 backs into the game, and really run the football. That's something that they have not shown the ability to be able to do earlier this year.
And look at the Detroit Lions clawing to stay alive in the playoff race in the rugged NFC over the Dallas Cowboys, who beat Green Bay last week by 10. Green Bay will deploy 3 receivers, 5 in the secondary for the Raiders. It's 3rd down and 4. Morency, they made a trade with Houston last year to get him. And Sapp is there once again along with Morrison to hold him to a 1-yard gain. And it's 4th down and Green Bay will punt. Here is a look at the NFC playoff picture coming into today.
And you look at the divisional leaders, and of course you look at the wild card, the Giants. That win against Chicago gave them the 2-game cushion, and of course look at who's in the hunt. I like the Vikings. They got off to that 2-5 start, but a healthy Adrian Peterson back should help them down the stretch.
From the Canadian Football League, in to punt is John Ryan, number 5 NFL average. There's a flag. And back is Tim Dwight, fair caught, 38-yard line. And the flag is thrown back near the line of scrimmage. 34-yard punt as it stands right there. Dwight was just signed a couple weeks ago after they cut Michael Williams. Green Bay has scored on a punt return fumble by Dwight, which was recovered in the end zone.
Illegal formation by the kicking team, number 30, lined up in the backfield. That 5-yard penalty will be enforced from the dead ball spot, 1st down.
Green Bay has also got an 80-yard touchdown pass from Brett Favre, a field goal of 44 yards, a punt return of 57 yards, and a Grant 6-yard touchdown run. Here is what lies in wait for both the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys the rest of the way.
And you look at the Packers, I mean, at St. Louis, at Chicago, Detroit, I mean, no reason why they can't win the remaining 3. And Cowboys have 2 divisional opponents, Philly and then at Washington. So it could very well come down to week 17 for those 2 football teams.
It is 1st and 10 from the 43. Lamont Jordan in the game. Here comes McCown, pressured by Jenkins. Almost, and it is intercepted by Atari Bigby. He'll get up and run. And there he goes. He got a block from Woodson, and he is gone. What a play. There is a flag thrown at the 38. There is a flag down at the 38.
After the interception, personal foul, unnecessary roughness by Green Bay number 77. Correction, I'm sorry. Hit number 77, hit the quarterback who was out of the play. That's a 15-yard penalty enforced from the spot of the flag. Green Bay keeps the ball, 1st down.
So they wipe away the touchdown as you take a look at Cullen Jenkins, who began as a starter late last season, taking the place of Baja Biamila. The great coverage on the play by Nick Collins on the pass intended for Ronald Curry. And then you see the subsequent run, which will now be taken back by Atari Bigby, undrafted out of Central Florida. 1st-year starter for Green Bay.
And a lot of times what you'll see is defensive linemen are trained to find the quarterback on an interception. That's a great job by Nick Collins, just diving, getting a hand on it. And then watch the Packers. They all turn and become offensive players now. They're trying to look for a block down the field to spring Atari Bigby.
Woodson gave a good one, actually, and we were out of camera view there. Maybe we'll see it right here.
Yeah. And that's what they do. They look for the quarterback. And, of course, he was in a kind of defenseless position. I'll tell you what, Josh McCown has had a tough day. He's taken some bad hits.
So from the 37-yard line, 1st and 10. Warren is on the defensive line for the Oakland Raiders. It's Grant over 100 yards and adding to his total. Gets away from Schweigert. And he's on the move downfield, takes it to the Raider 37-yard line, which ends the quarter. A 26-yard run as Green Bay continues to move, leading 31-7 at the end of 3. First time the Oakland Raiders have been back to Lambeau Field since 1999. With Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan, we start the 4th quarter. 1st and 10, Green Bay at the 37. Favre has thrown a touchdown pass and an interception today. Grant with the call, drilled on the play by Morrison. After a gain of 3. Grant has gone over 100 yards today on the ground, and Will Blackman, a second-year reserve defensive back with 2 special teams touchdowns. Grant has a career-high 151 yards on the ground. The CBS Sports Store is the perfect place to save big on all gifts for all the sports fans in your life. Today only, you can save 20% on officially licensed NFL jerseys and caps. Click on shop at cbssports.com. 2nd down 7. Base defense for the Raiders. From the 34. Grant. A block by Tauscher. That's a block by Kuhn. Runs out of bounds. The safety Schweigert ushers him out of play. There is a flag on the field at the 29. "19 degrees here in Green Bay.
Offense number 86. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
And that is the tight end Donald Lee, who's been a 3rd tight end the last 2 seasons, emerging as the guy this season in a breakout year. That's the penalty story today.
I'll tell you, this offensive line for the Packers has done a very nice job. Packers have rushed for 153 yards today. That's a season high, and I know that's going to make Mike McCarthy and this coaching staff happy. That's something you have to be able to do to be a good playoff team, to really make a bang down the stretch. You have to be able to run the football.
It was a spot foul, so it is 2nd down and 12. 6 defensive backs for the Oakland Raiders. That's the score in Detroit. Morency was in the backfield and offers a block, and now he gets the pass, and there is Big Warren Sapp to bring him down, wrestles him down, back with a loss of 5. They'll spot the ball at the 44-yard line. We just talked about the Lions and Cowboys. For more, to New York with James Brown.
Well, here, let me embellish it. Detroit in the 4th. Kevin and Rich.
Romo having a terrific year, JB. He is the 2nd-ranked quarterback coming into today in the NFL. Thank you. 3rd down and 17. The Packers need the 27. 6 defensive backs, 3 receivers deployed. Favre, Morency out of Oklahoma State. One-time 3rd-round pick brought down by Carr. The ball came out, but he was down at the 34-yard line, well shy of the 1st down. It was a gain of about 10 yards on the play by Vernon Morency.
It's a little check down. You see the watch the linebackers converge on him, and then again at the end, you can see his actually down. That ball comes out late. Good call by the officials.
They're going to try a 52-yard field goal. 53 is as far as Crosby was hitting it in pregame warmups. There is a slight breeze, only a marginal breeze of 5 miles an hour, which he will be kicking into. Rob Davis, 164th consecutive game in a Green Bay uniform, will be the long snapper, and a timeout is taken. Green Bay takes their first of the half. Our 4th quarter clock at 12:18. 12:18 to play in the 4th quarter. Brett Favre has brought his team to within field goal range, although it is a 52-yard try by Mason Crosby. His dad played running back at Texas El Paso, and this is going to wind to the left and no good. So he misses for a 2nd time today, much to the chagrin of Mike McCarthy. Take a break. Raiders will have it when we come back. 12:13 remaining in the game.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Garmin. Give a Garmin GPS this holiday season. T. Rowe Price, providing investment management excellence for over 70 years. Invest with confidence. And by Sprint, proud sponsors and avid fans of the NFL.
On the 42-yard line, a new quarterback is Andrew Walter, taking the place of Josh McCown. 1st and 10. for a second read. Outside, uncatchable for Curry, and back to him, incomplete. Now, Walter is in the game, the third-year Arizona State quarterback, because the starter, Josh McCown, has taken a beating all day long.
Yeah, and it won't be a comfortable trip back to Oakland for Josh McCown. I mean, he's going to be sore. And, you know, this is the way you want to treat a quarterback when he comes into Lambeau. You want to get some hits on him. You want to knock him around. That's really the reason why we're seeing Andrew Walter right now.
Harrell and Montgomery are on that defensive line for Green Bay. Second down and 10. Lamont Jordan in the backfield gets the call. Tripped up on the play by Atari Bigby. And thrown for a 3-yard loss. Great pressure inside by Bigby, and they're back to the 39-yard line.
I'll tell you what, this defense has been phenomenal today for the Packers. They've held the Raiders without a first down in 6 of their last 10 possessions. I mean, they're making stops in the backfield. They're getting hits on the quarterback. They're coming up with some big interceptions. And this is the way Bob Sanders envisioned it when he drew up this game plan today for the Raiders.
Green Bay has got 5 defensive backs, 3rd and 13. Aja Biamila has come in at the defensive end. Walter. Caught by Ronald Curry. Chased by Al Harris, and out of bounds he goes. Curry to the 42-yard line. He was a great high school performer. #1 athlete in the country. Played point guard for North Carolina and quarterback. Did Ronald Curry for North Carolina. A catch and run of 19. And he is down to the Green Bay 42-yard line. As you can see, some of the passing numbers in this week in the NFL.
David Garrard, he's a guy I like. You know, he's taking such a good care of the football, and that's a team to keep an eye on, the Jacksonville Jaguars. He does a good job with that offense.
O'Neal is the fullback in the backfield, 1st and 10 from the 42. And they stop that mid-motion. Walter back there, 3rd-round pick.
False start, offense, number 16. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Walter started some games last season before they reclaimed this quarterback position. Walter had broken a lot of Pac-10 records, including the touchdown passing record of John Elway at Stanford. So he comes with some pretty highly notable numbers. It's 1st and 15.
And it's unfortunate last year he had to play in so many games. The 8 starts, just 3 touchdowns to go along with 13 interceptions, but he played behind a pretty bad offensive line. He played in an offensive system that really didn't make a whole lot of sense for him and his abilities.
Green Bay's got 5 defensive backs. The 3rd-year quarterback on 1st and 15, Walter. Off to Lamont Jordan, hit by A.J. Hawk, and the gain and the run down to the 40-yard line. He picks up 7 yards on the play. Well, we talked a little bit about Jamarcus Russell, who played last week. We knew most of the week he would not play today. Probably when he's back in Oakland, he'll see more time. But last week against the Broncos, he played 2 series.
Yeah, in his first action last week, Lane Kiffin said it's important that when he gets the opportunity to play, he plays well. And he did a good job with the decisions and the ball security. That was something that was important. And Lane Kiffin said usually in the first game for a rookie like that, they turn the ball over. He didn't do that. That's a good sign for the Raiders.
2nd down and 8. Nickel secondary. Walker has come in for Green Bay as the nickelback. Campman rolls in on Jordan. No gain. They stay at the 40-yard line. This Aaron Campman, some kind of player. He played linebacker initially at Iowa. They moved him to defensive end where he has starred in the NFL.
Wow, he's just making Paul McQuiston look silly, and I love watching him play. He's got a big-time motor, and the thing about Aaron Campman that he never takes plays off. I mean, he's got that bull rush. He's strong, and again, 11 sacks coming into today's game. He's off to another Pro Bowl at the end of this season.
He was a Pro Bowl starter last year. 71st consecutive start today. 3rd down and 8. Campman, by the way, with 4 tackles. Still 5 in the secondary. Griffith has become the new fullback. Here's the blitz by Bigby. Walter underhands it off to Lamont Jordan, who's wrapped up by KGB at the 41 and a loss of 2. No place to run, no place to hide.
And they're not going to call off the dogs. And you see they bring Atari Bigby. They don't even block him. They don't even account for him. And this is something that Andrew Walter, a young quarterback, when you haven't had the reps during the week, you haven't gotten a chance to get in there and go through those progressions, it's very, very, very easy to miss a blitz like that.
5 defensive backs for Green Bay. 4th down and 9 from the Packer 41. To White, Curry along with Porter are the receivers.
Here it comes again.
Walter caught by the tight end, Zach Miller. And he lunges ahead, close to a first down, near the 33-yard line, brought down by Aaron Kampman, close to the first down in a gain of about 9.
You know, in the days of being ahead 31-7 and dropping back and playing zone coverage are long gone in the National Football League. And these defensive coordinators, they don't care. They're going to continue to keep the pressure on, continue to heat you up.
When you came out of that huddle, what was the first thing you spied? Did you look at the safety? Did you look at line? What did you look at?
Well, you know, you always look at the personnel on the field. You certainly want to check the front and the coverage so you can kind of get a tendency or certainly an idea of what to expect in terms of coverage. Is it going to be man? Is it going to be zone? Or is it going to be some type of a blitz? And that's something that, you know, you really want to make sure that all these quarterbacks in your roster, particularly a guy like Andrew Walter, a young quarterback, is very comfortable with.
On downs, Green Bay gets it back. 8:21 to play in this one. The Packers are rolling right along and hovering over their 11th win of the year. The Oakland Raiders are challenging the spot of this ball. It was a 4th down and 9, and their rookie tight end, Zach Miller, lunging ahead.
Yeah, you can see right there he needs to get to the 32, and his knee is down there, and actually he tries to extend the ball at the end. So that's actually a very good spot by the officials. You can see the umpire right there to make the call.
Miller set a school record for tight end receptions at Arizona State and comes into today the #1 AFC receiving tight end in terms of receptions and yards. Oculi has had a busy day in this game here in Green Bay today, which we've seen some flurries.
We reviewed the ruling on the field of forward progress, and the ruling on the field stands as called. It is Green Bay's ball, first down, and Oakland is charged with their second timeout.
So the Raiders have 1 timeout remaining in Green Bay with 2 and 8:21 to play, and Andrew Walter in his first series cannot get the first down. Green Bay will take over. Now the backup quarterback for the Packers today is not Aaron Rodgers. It is Craig Nall, who was released a couple weeks ago by the Houston Texans. Rodgers in practice, in Tuesday practice, pulled a hamstring. So he is the 3rd quarterback, and Favre remains in there with the sizable lead. 1st and 10. 2 tight ends, including Kraus, Morency. And he slithers through. Brought down by Schweigert. 41-yard line on a gain of 8 yards.
You know, it was interesting that we talked with Rob Ryan. He said that, you know, I hope the Packers come out and throw the ball because that's really the strength of our unit right now. But I'll tell you what, their run defense has really suffered. They were 30th coming into today's game, giving up 148 yards on the ground. You see Green Bay already at 166. They have not done a good job with that front 7 stopping the run.
Green Bay has changed their left tackle. Clifton is out, and they brought in Darren College, who was replaced mid-game last week in Dallas because of ineffective play. There he is on the corner, number 73. As far as we know, nothing wrong with Clifton. It is 2nd down and 2. Morency of Oklahoma State. And he lunges ahead for a first down, brought down by Huff in the secondary, up to the 44-yard line, and a gain of 4 on the play. Rich, we've been talking about the greatness of Brett Favre. Let's extend that to a league-wide look at MVP candidates.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tom Brady's been off the charts, and I really like what Tony Romo has done in Dallas, and of course, the gray-beard one, Brett Favre, and Ben Roethlisberger's having a great year, and of course, Peterson in Minnesota. But I tell you, you got to go with Tom Brady right now. His numbers are off the charts, but if it weren't for him, boy, this guy right here, Brett Favre, he's having career highs in a number of areas, completion percentage, touchdowns.
Couple tight ends on 1st and 10. Morency is hit by Burgess on the play on a gain of 2, twirling up to the 47-yard line.
And the great thing about Brett, when I go back and look at what he's done this year, the interceptions are way down, and that's huge. And he's been less careless with the football, and he's not playing, as Mike McCarthy would say, like a wild stallion anymore. You know, he's gotten it out of his system, and he's had streaks this season of 142 consecutive passes and 139 without interceptions. So he's done a much better job managing the game with ball security, and it's really one of the reasons why they're 10-2 right now.
And probably studying more than he's ever studied, huh?
You think this guy loves the game? I mean, how many quarterbacks walk up to the line of scrimmage smiling, laughing?
2nd down and 8, and Morency. And brought down by Thomas after a gain of 4, and he busts his way into Oakland territory at the 49.
And I don't know if there's ever a player that had more fun playing the game than Brett Favre. I mean, he just, even when we sat down the other day, he's smiling, he's laughing, he's got his arm in a little sling there because he's got the problem with the circulation and the numbness and the tingling in the fingers. But he loves to play this game.
Looks like he's going to win his 158th game as a starting quarterback. 3rd down and 4. What as a quarterback you like this time of the game? Huh? It's late in the game. You're just rolling right along. You got a sizable lead.
This is when it's fun. You can talk in the huddle and have fun and relax a little bit.
3rd down and 4 with a couple tight ends. Morency. Kuhn, the ex-Pittsburgh Steeler, with the block. And Schweigert runs him out of bounds, picking up 5, and he's got the first down as he cut the corner to the Raider 44.
And I got to be honest with you, Kevin, I was never in a lot of these situations in Oakland where we're ahead 31-7, and so it was really difficult for me to enjoy a game at the end of the game. But Brett has been in a lot of them, and now what happens is you get some of your second line players in the game. You know, Morency gets to come in. You see College comes in at left tackle, so these guys get some reps and they get to play a little bit. Look, Mike McCarthy over there on the sidelines laughing. They're getting some of the younger players. That's what it's all about. That's when this game is really fun.
Raiders only have 3 defensive backs out there. It is 1st and 10 from the 44. Morency got tripped up by former #1 pick out of Colorado, Tyler Brayton. A loss of 3 on the play, back to the 47-yard line. Well, we know this week that Brett was named the Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year. He becomes the 4th NFL player to get that honor. Terry Bradshaw, Joe Montana, recently Tom Brady, and now Brett Favre. Favre today, 220 yards through the air, a touchdown pass of 80, and 1 pick. It is 2nd down and 12 from the Raider 46. Again, the 2 tight ends. Martin is the receiver. Favre. That's caught by Donald Lee, breaking away from Alston, stiff-arming his way into Schweigert. Oh, what a run! Touchdown!
Well, you're going to see at the end of this play the reason the Raiders made a change at free safety to Eugene. Stuart Schweigert has missed a number of tackles this year, and that's really one of the reasons why they have Eugene playing back there. He's a better tackler. He's more physical. Stuart Schweigert should have made that tackle and stopped that touchdown.
Brett Favre has thrown his 2nd touchdown pass today. The Crosby extra point, 38-7 Green Bay. 4 minutes to play.
Best Buy, where this holiday, the wow's guaranteed.
Donald Lee has just caught his 5th touchdown pass of the season. Brett Favre got him on a 46-yard catch and run. And the yards after catch, something that Rich has been talking about, the #1 team in the NFL that does that, is flexing that statistic today. The ensuing kickoff by Crosby. And here is Carr, who pulled a calf on Wednesday in practice, returning it and tripped up and brought down. Morency and Bishop make the stop, 20-yard return.
Watch this stiff arm. Wow. There's a couple of them.
You don't see the stiff arm very much anymore, do you? Especially from running backs, but
watch this.
Never from tight ends.
Watch this. And you know what? I'll tell you something right now. That hurts. And that's why Brett does that. I mean, you can see, look at him. Look at Junis. He knows. Brett knows in the cold weather like that, a good slap on the fanny will wake you up.
1st and 10, Raiders at the 26, and this is Lamont Jordan. Outside, belted by Tremont Williams. Upended. Williams came off the practice squad last year. It's a gain of 7 yards on the play, and the gain is up to the 33. As they warm up Craig Nall, who was a Green Bay draft choice back in '02 in the 5th round. He was here 4 years. He went to Buffalo, let go, picked up by Houston, let go, and now he's back in Green Bay. And this is necessitated by the Aaron Rodgers hamstring injury in practice Tuesday. 2nd down and 3. O'Neal in the backfield. Jordan again. Montgomery gets him from behind. Mike Montgomery limits Lamont Jordan to a gain of 1. as we go and revisit our Rich Gannon game points coming into this afternoon's game.
Well, you see the Raiders, they never got any real pressure on Brett. And he had a very efficient day through the air. And, of course, the Packers, they got after the running game. Justin Fargas really got off to a pretty good start early, but once the game got out of hand, he was really not a factor at all. Just 57 yards rushing today.
The reason Fargas hasn't been in most of the second half is unknown to us. 3rd down and 1. Here's Lamont Jordan. And he was cracked on the play. Coming up and making the stop was Aaron Rouse, who is a 3rd-round pick out of Virginia Tech and a 6'4" safety who is terrific. He's only had 3 starts this entire season, but he comes up from that safety position and makes the stop on Lamont Jordan. We have not got anything from the Raiders regarding the health of Fargas, if it even is an issue. But we don't know, but Lamont Jordan is seeing the majority of the carries here late in the game. And look at Favre, who's thrown 2 touchdowns today. It'll be 4th and 1 for the Raiders from the 35. As this will take us to the 2-minute warning. Green Bay has clinched the division title and a playoff berth with the win today over Sep and the Raiders, 38-7. We're at the 2-minute warning with the Oakland Raiders facing 4th and 1. Oakland 0 of 2 on 4th downs today. Green Bay with a lot of second-string defensive players out there right now. The second-string quarterback, Walter. That is caught by Johnny Lee Higgins, who's a rookie out of UTEP. He was brought down by Hawk. It's a gain of 5. It is a first down to the 40-yard line of the Raiders. As the Dallas Cowboys in a fight in Detroit today with the Lions, and late in that game a 27-21 Detroit lead. If Green Bay goes on to win, as it would appear they will, and go to 11-2, and Dallas would lose, they would be tied. Dallas would have the tiebreaker by virtue of last week. 1st and 10. Walter going deep, and he's got Tim Dwight, but he overshoots him down the side, and the coverage by Jarrett Bush. It is 2nd down and 10 as we revisit once again the NFC playoff picture.
Now you look at the Tampa Bay and the NFC South, the job that John Gruden's done, a nice job there. And I'll tell you, Detroit 6-6. Tampa lost today, so we'll drop to 8-6.
8-5.
8-5, I'm sorry.
Our guys are ahead of us even down there. They've already got the Packers with the win, the Buccaneers with the loss. 2nd down and 10. Here comes Jason Hunter around the corner. That's an incomplete pass. No one home. There is a flag thrown on the play near sideline, 46-yard line. Let's step back and look at the Raiders. They had won 2 straight coming into today.
Before the pass was thrown, holding defense number 41. That's a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
They are improving, although they struggle today. Where has Lane Kiffin navigating this team from here on out?
Well, I think he's continuing to find out about his team. You know, he talked a little bit last night about the 6-game losing streak. He says it's a great opportunity to find out about our locker room and the leadership of our football team. I mean, he's made some changes. He's gotten rid of some players. He's going to continue to do that and bring in the type of players that he feels can help build this team.
It is 1st down and 10 from the 45. Raiders do have a timeout. Green Bay's got 2. Here comes Barnett. Incomplete, uncatchable for Lamont Jordan. And most of the country will leave this game in a couple moments, and then these will be the 3 games that you will get. Most of you will be taken to Foxborough for the New England Patriots against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh making some pretty strong claims in the press this week heading to the game.
Yeah, they Mike Tomlin, I don't know if he was too crazy about that, but some predictions out there. And again, proof is in the pudding. We'll see how they hold up today on the road in Foxborough.
2nd down and 10. Jordan. And he was grabbed on the play by Aaron Rouse with his 2nd tackle on a gain of a yard. Brett Favre with the 2 touchdown passes today, 1 of 80 yards, 1 of 46 yards. He did throw an interception. Ryan Grant on the ground, 156 yards and 29 carries, a career high.
How about the job Mike McCarthy has done? He's won more games through his first 25 than any coach in franchise history. I mean, you go back to Lombardi, Holmgren, Sherman. It's a pretty impressive start for Mike McCarthy.
3rd down and 9 for Walter. Jordan still on his feet. Ryan Pickett brings him down after a gain of 2. Green Bay had 179 yards rushing. That is a season high today. They had 2 special teams touchdowns and 3 takeaways. A pretty impressive performance by Green Bay against Lane Kiffin's Oakland Raiders.
And Kevin, you're talking about a team right now that's won 15 of their last 17 games. They're on a roll right now. And a little bump in the road last week at Dallas, but they looked really sharp here today.
For Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan saying so long. The Best Buy update is coming up next with highlights and scores. Happy holidays from Green Bay.